Hey, what's up, guys? Silver Slayer, welcome back for another video. So, on my last poll, I realized that a lot of people don't like poured silver. So I wanted to just make this informational video showing you guys why poured silver is so beneficial. So, yes, poured silver has higher premiums than generic silver or, generic silver bars. So you would think, oh, silver is silver. I might as well pay for generic silver over poured silver because it's cheaper. Well, you have to think about there's a collector value on top of poured silver because, lower mintage numbers, it's a piece of artwork and people are willing to pay more money for the poured silver, especially when you resell it. So, you know, buying some of these poured silver bars for $23 or a 10-ounce YPS bar for $210, some of these more collectible pieces is definitely going to pay off. This is one of my favorites right here, the 4-ounce KitKat. Because if you go to eBay and type in, look how much some of this stuff is selling for on eBay. 4 ounces for $103. 10-ounce for $245. Now, when the people who are selling these, when they bought these, they bought it for only a couple dollars more than you would generic silver. A 1-ounce skull for $28. 4 ounces, $103. 38 grams, $179. 100 gram, $250. 1 ounce, $37. 1 ounce, $32. 5 ounces, $152. Even the half ounce is going for 17. 4 ounces for 120. You can buy poured silver 1 ounce, $49. You can buy poured silver for only a couple dollars more than generic, and then over time it gains a premium because there's a collector value because there's low mintages. And you can see, like, this is number 8, serial number 8 right there, you can see. So there's a collector value. It's almost like investing into numismatics with coins. You buy a coin for cheap and hope that that coin appreciates in value over time, not just for the silver value, but there's a collector value, a collectible value that collectors are willing to pay on top of just the metal content, and that's what poured silver is as well. So, like with my Silver Slayer bars, people were saying they're a little pricey, but over time they're gonna grow in price because there's only a mintage of 100, and it's a piece of artwork. It's not just a generic bar, which that's mercy is only to spot price. So if you would have put that $86, if you would have bought this, here we'll use an example. We'll go down to like any of these 1 ounces that are going for $28 or whatever, or the 1 ounce that was going for even this 38 grams, if you'd have bought that into generic silver for, however much that is, and then sat on that, whatever silver's at right now is all you would get for it. But see, with this, you have dramatically increased your profits. And that's kind of just, something to think about. 5 ounces, they probably paid around $110 for this piece, and now they're selling it for $152, when if you would have bought that $110 in a generic silver, it would still be around $110, or maybe even less if silver has gone down since you placed that order. So that's something to think about. Like this 1 ounce, he probably paid $23, $24 for this 1 ounce skull right when it came out. I actually remember when these first came out. Silver Slacker made a video on them, and now look, he's selling it for $50. So this is why people buy poured silver. They're not just ripping you off. You're not wasting your money. when you pay the higher premiums, because as you can see, there's a market out there where you can dramatically increase your profits when, and yes, generic silver is cheaper when you're buying it, but when you're selling it, you're not going to make as much money, or the potential amount of money dramatically decreases. So this is why people invest into poured silver. It's, and not even just that, the artwork itself is beautiful. These are all handcrafted, made, and it's you don't have to worry about smudging it up or toning, or you don't have to invest in the capsules, and it's a piece of artwork, and it just looks, look how cool some of these pieces look. So that's why. And so when I made my poll, I saw that the majority of you guys chose generic silver, and then constitutional silver was second, and then poured silver was way down in third, where not many of you guys chose poured silver. And I was kind of curious to why, because this seems like the biggest market for potential. Well, actually, out of those three categories, poured silver by far is the best market to make the most money back. Where generic silver's mercy is to spot price, junk silver is definitely right with generic silver, and poured silver, there's so much money to be made on here. So I was kind of wondering, it was just really, it was pretty interesting that not many of you guys chose the category that can make you guys the most profits. So I thought maybe it's because you guys don't know about this poured silver market, because a lot of people don't know about it. um, there's a lot of potential money to be made into poured silver. It's just like coins. It's just like if you would have bought the dragon and phoenix, hoping that it increases in value within a year or two. Poured silver is the same exact way. It's just not a coin. It's a bar. So especially Jaeger's poured silver, they have some beautiful silver on here. As you can see, Erickson Mints even partnered with them. So that's where I made my silver bars from. Silver Slacker, they got some Silver Slacker bars on here. Like these 1 ounce, it's $24. You would say, man, that 1 ounce of silver for $24. I could go buy an ounce for $21 on APMEX. But then it's like, yeah, but this bar has a lot more potential to increase in value a lot quicker than your $21. So are you willing to pay that $3 profit to potentially make a lot more when you sell it? So just something to think about. I just wanted to show that because there is a whole other market out there that a lot of people don't know about. And I just wanted to definitely make sure you guys are aware of this, because the whole point of my channel is to share knowledge and hopefully get you guys to make the best potential educated buys as possible. Now, I did also want to show you guys APMEX. One of my subscribers actually showed me this. Um, APMEX actually does have the Dragon and Phoenix back in. Now it's not $31. They always say that because you see the cheapest you could possibly get these if you're willing to buy 100 or more with a check is $31. But actually, most people's price range is going to be around $34 because they're not going to be buying more than 20, unless you're buying rolls and rolls. But $34. But also something to keep in mind when you're buying these coins, look at the APMEX buy price, because it shows you what the market for this coin pretty much is right now. If you wanted to sell back to APMEX, they're telling you how much they'll buy it off you for. So $23.94. So anything on top of this price is a risk you're willing to pay. So, this is $24 basically, and this is $34. So there's a $10 risk you're willing to pay, hoping that this coin will eventually reach that price. So that's just something to keep in mind. Always look at what APMEX is going to buy, APMEX's buy price is for this, because that will kind of give you a hint on your risk you're willing to take and what the coin is currently doing. Now you could sell these on eBay for a lot more than $24, I'm sure, but that's just from a business standpoint, kind of gives you a guideline to go by and kind of see what's happening. So also if you do go to Modern Coin Mart also has the Dragon and Phoenix in stock as well, but they are $41. But so you would say, that's a $5 difference, almost a $6 difference. But as you can see, there's free shipping right there. So that's why it's more money, because on AppMix, if you were to buy this coin straight out, it wouldn't be $34. It would probably be the however much, I don't know how much shipping would be. I always make sure I pay over $100 to get free shipping, which is obviously the smarter idea. But if you only wanted one of these coins, the prices would then even out. So that's why eBay prices are a little more expensive, because usually all of eBay stuff has free shipping, so that extra price that's in the actual total is including the shipping that you would be paying. So just something to keep in mind, and just wanted to show you guys. So that's pretty much it for today. I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys about some poured silver, also show you guys some of this stuff. What do you guys think? Do you guys buy poured silver? What are your thoughts on that market? And do you agree with the potentials that's out there with poured silver? Because there is a lot of potential, and I know a lot of people making a lot of money like this. So just something to think about. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next video. Peace.